line to open his defense in the terrorism charge brought against him by the federal government or forfeit the right to do so. And his legal team argues then that the charges are politically motivated and that Kanu's constitutional rights have been violated. And then, you know, earlier on, the federal government, they've insisted that Kanu must face a serious terrorism charge for allegedly inciting violence through IPOB activities. And, you know, the main bone of contention is he disengaged the service of his lawyers and said he wants to defend himself. And it has got a lot of people talking. I want to ask, how would you assess the fairness of Nnamdi Kanu's trial so far?
Well, I want to say that whoever that is being arraigned for a criminal matter, he has the right to remain silent. The burden is on the state, which is a prosecuting officer, to prove the guilt of that person. So the burden basically is on the state in this sense. And then number two, whether on the fairness, I want to say that the matter have lingered for long.
Okay.
Because some people say that justice delayed, justice denied per se, because the matter have lingered for more than 5 to 6 years.
Yes.
What is the essence of that kind of trial? I do not agree with that. It's something they can dispense with, because that's why some people are saying that the matter is politically motivated. And I agree with them. I agree with them on that sense, because of the fact that the matter have lingered for more than years, like I said. So we should not allow that to shuttle down our judiciary and then some political undertone in the sense. So I think on the part of fairness, I give it to those advocates that are saying that the matter is politically motivated. And this is what we are clearly seeing. There is no justification for keeping him this long. The matter ought to have been dispensed with so that he can know his fate, whether he's going in for the punishment, whether he's free. Because by our standard, whether we like it or not at this point, is presumed innocent. That's what the law is.
What about the fact that he had to disengage all his lawyers?
It's his constitutional rights. The law allows him. The law says the provisions of the Constitution is certain, particularly chapter 4 of the Constitution that say that whoever that is accused of any offense, he can defend himself in person or he can get the service of a lawyer. So it's his constitutional rights. Whether he feels that he can defend his matter by himself, the law allows him. Whether he feels that he can get the service of a lawyer, even 200 lawyers. But what is important is that it's one that we talk in the court. If you like, get 500 lawyers, 1 million lawyers. It is one person that we advocate for and on behalf of you in the court. Others we talk in addition, by way of addition. But that is what the law is. You have a right to defend by yourself, or you engage the service of a lawyer who is a professional, who is an expert in that field. But okay. I'm advising that the matter is so complicated, he cannot do it himself. He needs the service of a professional. Okay, that's your
advice to Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
And you have also said that the matter has lingered on for too long. You know, you said it's been on for the past 5 years.
More than 5 years.
More than 5 years. But we also know that a lot of Nigerians will want to hear from you as a legal practitioner. He has been granted bail on several orders, but the federal government has refused to comply on these bills. Why?
You see, that is why I agree with the people that the matter is, it has a political undertone. That's number one. And then number two, the government is supposed to be the chief architect. The government is supposed to be the person that will protect the provisions of the Constitution. The government is supposed to be the person that will ensure that the order of the court are not taken for granted. Once an order of the court is made, that order of the court must be complied with forthwith. And that's what the court have held in the case of Abacha versus Gani Fawemi. That is not the duty of the court to start forum shopping as to the order of the court you will comply with. For example, the court made order A to D thereabout, and then you comply with A and B, and then you discountenance with C and D. Is wrong under our criminal jurisprudence, under our legal jurisprudence. You must comply with the order of the court. So I literally do not agree with the fact that the court will grant somebody bail, and then somebody is seated somewhere conspicuously, and then he will not allow the person to enjoy the benefits of that order of the court. It's not an exercise in cosmetics. It must be complied with. That's what the law is. And that is why some of us who are strong advocates advocate for good governance and for better growth of our dear country, we are saying that the order of the court must be complied with. If the government does not comply with the order of the court, what is the hope of a common man?
Of a common
Yes,
man.
exactly.
Okay, so at this junction, does Nnamdi Kanu has a case against the government for not complying to...
The court have made series of pronouncements. The government have refused to comply with the order of the court. Assuming the matter, the court decide otherwise, or whichever way the matter goes now, and we have seen that he's vindicated, he can take up he can take up a charge for malicious. He can take up a suit against the government for malicious prosecution. He can claim damages and run into millions. That's what the law is.
That's a good one, Mr. Adams. At this point, do you think the court decision to give him a final chance shows judicial patience or political pressure?
Well, I think that it's fair that we have seen that the court, in its wisdom per se, had decided to grant further adjournment, like on 2 or 3 occasions, and this is about the 3rd time, urging him to seek the service of a professional, a lawyer per se. Otherwise, he should enter his defense. The court considered the fact that the matter is so complicated and say that, no, this is not a matter of mere stealing. This is not a matter of assault or battery that you can come and say, oh, my lord, I want to defend myself. This is a very complicated matter, and you have a case to answer. It's important that you get the service of a professional. There are professionals in all fields. I'm surprised that people take things for granted in this part of the world. But he himself, he himself is not even, he has a dual citizen. So I believe that he knows and understands the importance of getting the service of a professional. So it's not a matter of a joke we are talking about here.
But what do you think would have propelled him to disengage his lawyers?
I don't know his personal, because you need not inform the court for any reason that you want to disengage the service of a lawyer. He that can hire can equally fire per se, and it's your constitutional rights. You can disengage your lawyer at any time. Your lawyer can equally disengage the service at any time. So it's not a one-way traffic something. He need not tell the court, my lord, I'm not, because this man is from this part, is this and that, is unkept, is that and that. I want to disengage the service.
Now that he has disengaged the service of his lawyers, do you think it's going to work? With the fact that most of his evidence are just, mere words. The courts need crucial, tangible evidence. They need a good evidence to be able to, solve the problems and all. And most of his evidence are just, coming out to say this was what happened, this was what happened, this person was there, and this other person was there. What do you have to say about that?
Well, we have different species of evidence that the court admits. If you are approaching the court with oral evidence, you need to establish the fact that indeed that oral evidence, because you are saying orally that, my lord, this and this, you must at least you must support it with circumstantial evidence per se. You need to call 1 or 2 people to support your oral testimony before the court. I'm not saying, I don't want to preempt whatever the court may decide, because I've not seen the evidence before the court. So it is now the duty of the court, because it's against our profession for me to preempt a matter that is pending in court. It is only the court that is in custody of facts, is in custody of the evidence before the court that can make a specific pronouncement.
Okay. Having said that, is there a possible legal implication if Kanu fails to take advantage of this final opportunity? The court said they are giving him a final opportunity. Exactly. Is there a legal aspect of it if he fails to take the final opportunity?
The law is that any party that the court in its wisdom have decided to give that party opportunity to come and defend his or her case. And if he or she refuses to explore their options, he cannot complain later that he was not given fair hearing. You cannot eat your cake and then you have it. You cannot go and later complain that, my lord, I was not given fair hearing at the appellate court. Whereas there are ample opportunity for you, more particularly in this situation. We have seen openly that the court have granted about 3 or 4 adjournments.
Yes, exactly.
For him to enter his defense. The court equally went further to advise him of the importance of getting a legal practitioner to defend him, a professional to defend him, considering how complicated the matter is. It's important that you get the service of a legal practitioner, a professional in this sense, to defend your matter. So if he elects to come and defend his matter by himself, it's his right. But the court must have been seen to have judiciously and as a matter of equity and fairness, in line with the provisions of the Constitution, ensure that, oh, I gave this man a very big and bigger opportunity for him to come and defend
That
his
brings
case.
me to this question, Barrister. If the defense fails to proceed, could this lead to a conviction in absentia or case dismissal?
No, let me say this, that if he decide not to enter his defense, it's his right. An accused person who is arraigned in court, or a defendant in this sense, who is arraigned in court, arraignment presupposes the taking of your plea. Are you guilty or not guilty? He has about 4 to 5 rights. One, he can decide to say, I'm guilty.
Okay.
And then instantly a pronouncement will be made upon him depending on the nature of the case. He can decide to say that, oh, I'm not guilty per se, and then he thereby shifts the burden on the prosecuting officer to come and establish his guilt. And then number 3, he can decide to say, oh, he can even decide to enter his defense and say, oh, I will enter my defense. And then he can even decide not to enter his defense. He can decide, because the burden is on you to prove his guilt. So if he decides not to enter his defense, the law is certain. The court will close his case. The court will close his case.
And then jail him or something?
Not per se. The court will close his case, and then the court will order the party to go and file their final written addresses. Come and address me on the evidence before your lordship. He may decide to say, oh, my lord, I want to rely on the evidence elicited under cross-examination as my defense.
Mr. Adams, many Nigerians see this case as political. Do you agree?
I cannot agree less, but my point is that, like I said earlier, we have seen that this matter have lingered for long. I have this impression that whichever way, whether it can be settled politically or otherwise, I have this strong impression that the matter ought to have been settled.
Okay, moving forward, that's my take. As a legal practitioner, what possible outcome do you expect from the next court sitting?
The matter is slated for on the 7th. That's tomorrow, thereabouts.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I'm very optimistic that justice will be done. And now he had already informed the court that he is ready now to seek the service of a lawyer per se, professional per se. But my take now is that from that yesterday on the 5th, and then tomorrow, which is on the 7th, is that a reasonable time for the new lawyer, assuming he engaged my service now or any other person's service? Is that a reasonable time for that lawyer to prepare and enter defense? So there may be likely another adjournment. There may, because if assuming he go and gets the service of another lawyer to appear for him tomorrow, the lawyer will definitely say, my lord, sir, I need time to put our house in order. So I don't know, but for me, I'm saying that at the end, I want to see that justice will definitely come out.
The fact that the case has been dragged for a very long time, do you think it's deliberate?
Well, I don't know, but I know to an extent that the matter is politically motivated. That's what I will continue to say, and I'm saying it again, because it has the political undertone underneath it.
What about the government? Let's talk about the government at this point. Do you think they have presented credible evidence to justify the terrorism charges?
Well, the government have called about 5 witnesses, and then, if you like, the burden is on you as the person prosecuting, which is the government. If you like, go and call 1,000 witnesses, call 5 or 2 or 3. But what is important is that you must support your case with substantial and then competent and compelling witnesses that will support the facts.
Barrister, I'm still going to go back to the bails that have been granted to Kanu over the years during this case trial, and the government has refused to comply. Now my question is, does the government has the right not to comply to the court order?
The order of the court supersedes every order on earth. Once the court make an order, you must comply with. And like I said earlier, it's not the duty of the courts, it's not the duty of the government to be forum shopping as to the order of the court you comply with. By not complying with the order of the court, you are already showing the world that you are in disobedience of the court order, and you lack respect for constituted authority. Because the judiciary, after God and his cabinet, the judiciary is the king of decision on earth. Once the court make an order, whether you like it or not, you must comply with it until that order is set aside on appeal. Most of the order that granted in bail have not been set aside on appeal. And up to date, we are seeing lawlessness, we are seeing anarchy, we are seeing lack of respect for constituted authority. If you don't respect the court system, why then do you think that we should have the court system? You must respect it. And that's why I'm calling the Nigerian government now to respect the order of the court.
Okay, so what are the judges saying about this?
The court it's not the duty of the court to enforce the order of the court. Once the judge made that order, it is now left for the government to comply with it. And if the government in this sense entails the executive arm of the government that will give directive to the Nigerian police or the correctional center, release him. Release him. This is the order of the court. Then you flag the order of the court. But we have the order of the court, release him. But you see that the government is silent about it. Do you expect the judge to leave his own chambers to go and enforce the order of the court? It's not the duty of the judge to enforce that order.
In your own opinion, what do you think, what are the reasons do you think, in your opinion, it's making the government to refuse to comply to this order?
Well, we have said it. We have said the reason. Because there is this impression that once we release him, the havoc, the genesis will go back to square one again. The government is having that impression. But I don't know why the government cannot. You have somebody in your custody. What is bad if you seal a deal with the person and then tell him, we don't want this again.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back and say no more. We are releasing you. If you want to go outside the country, go there. But don't cause any further havoc or any further threat that will threaten the supremacy of our dear country.
So, Barrister, Mr. Adams, at this point, you know, the East now, they are in the side of Nnamdi Kanu, of course, they're supporting him. Let's talk about the 2027 election. If they are still holding him till, let's say, next year, do you think the East would want to support the current ruling party?
Well, if you look at even, he was in detention in the last election. What happened? What was the result? All over the federation. The same person that we say that we don't want is now in power. What more will happen now that he's in power? So whether we like it or not, I cannot decide for that reason. Let me give you a litmus test towards the build-up towards 2027. Most of the governors now, they are decamping to the ruling party.
Yeah, exactly.
So how will you correlate that with whether the people want to? When the governor is living with all his convoy, all of them, they are joining the ruling party at the federal level. They don't even care about their people at the domestic level. So how will you correlate that? So for me, I think it's a matter of a selfish interest at this level. Most of the leaders in the southeast, they are not in support of the government releasing him at this stage.
Why? Why would you say that?
Because they are benefiting from the system. Will you want to do anything? Will you want to do anything that will go otherwise? Because they are not united. Once the leaders are out and then they are united, we have about, is it 5 or 4 governors from the southeast there about? What from them? What stopped them from being united?
So you feel they are benefiting? That's why
they are benefiting from this government in the sense that, once I don't align with this government, I may likely lose my political opportunities.
But that's just the governors. The people of the southeast, especially the IPOP group, they're in support of Kanu, and you see it all around with the seats at home and all that. Yes, so they're in support. It's just the governors that are benefiting from this government that probably are not in support. But Kanu has his own group. Probably that's why the government is scared of him, because he has this group he's controlling. Remember the time of the sit-at-home incident, and that really works, even though he's in the prison, you know. So for me, I'm thinking the governors might not be agreeing to this, but Kanu has his group of people. What's your take on that?
Yes, he has his people, but that group is illegal. Let me say it on air, because I cannot be seen to support any group that is indirectly attacking the supremacy of our dear country. Because if you look at the provisions of the Constitution, the supremacy of our dear country is supreme, and any other group or association that will disorganize the supremacy of our dear country is not welcome. So I don't support IPOB. Let me say it openly.
Oh,
but
you don't support them?
I don't support them. Do you support them? Nobody on earth will want to support anything that the government will hold you to ransom. Will you want to support an association that is illegal? Because it's illegal. It's based on that Kanu is arrested.
Yes.
Because it's a threat to a nation. That's terrorism. So, and that is why you see that the incessant killing and the illegal killing in the southeast is the government is fighting them on a terrible note. So, having said that, what I want to say is that the governors and the senators and the ministers from that area, they are the mouthpiece of the southeast. Until these people are united and say, oh, Mr. President, we were pleading that we want you to release our man. We are giving a condition, we are speaking to him, we have agreed on so term, this and that and that. That is when you see that the politics that is behind everything will come out.
So you think IPOB is a major security threat?
Yes, it is, whether we like it or not. They have exhibited it over time, and they continue to exhibit it.
But we also saw Showore, who protested for Kanu to be released. Do you think Showore has a political undertone in that his protest, or he was just genuine, saying that this man has overstayed in the prisons? What's your take on that?
Well, you agree with me that he himself is a presidential candidate in the last election, and is he warming up to contest in the forthcoming election? That is aside, but I want to say that the matter is now at the level where any moment from now the court may give a specific decision, whether we like it or not. But in as much as we are protesting, Showore is protesting for his freedom, we must also know that the matter is in court. The matter is in court, and there is speedy dispensation as we are speaking right now. You can imagine 2 to 3 days adjournment, and he is even the one that is delaying the matter. It's Kanu himself. Otherwise, the governments have closed their case as far back as June this year, and we are in November. And he's saying that he has disengaged the service of his lawyer at a point that is very crucial. Who is now delaying the case? Is it the government or him?
He's actually the one delaying the case.
So the government have granted about 4 to 5 adjournment at his instance. I'm not supporting the government. I'm not supporting him, but I'm speaking reality here.
You know, currently now the declaring Showore wanted.
Yes, he has been declared wanted, but we have seen that the man is used to the system. He's not even disturbed anymore. This is the man that left his family. Showore left his family outside the country, and then he has been here for like 2 to 3 years now, fighting corruption, fighting back to back. He's so confident and dogged. I love his methodology, but however, he has gone to court. As of yesterday or this morning, I saw that he sued the Commissioner of Police of Lagos State for declaring him wanted. And you see the point. So they have seen that the man wants to come and stage a protest on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. On that basis, he has been declared wanted.
But truly, does the police have the right to declare him wanted?
If there is a feeling, if the police say, oh, there is a feeling that an offense is about to be committed, they can declare anybody wanted. It's left at their discretion. It's not at your discretion. It's not at my discretion. It is at their discretion. Because part of the reason they gave that I saw in the newspaper is that they arrested some people with speakers and several items and a lot of items that they were on their way to the venue where they want to go and protest thereabout.
Yes.
Oh.
So, but protest is a constitutional right.
I was going to ask you that.
It's a constitutional right. As far as there is no breakdown of law and all.
Because Nigerians, they feel protest is the only way the government can hear them, you know, fast and hear them fast.
But I want to say that we can use a social media platform. More importantly, it will fly more than we go and station somewhere where they can tear gas you. Look at what happened to Showore and others recently. Look at how they were tear gas.
But Showore would also tell you he has been using the social media platform and nobody listens. So he wanted to do it physically. Like you said, protest is our right.
Yes.
So why do you want to arrest him because he came out to protest? Especially when there was no law and order breakdown.
Because you cannot ascertain when there will be lawlessness. You cannot ascertain. People will come out now. Look at what happened during the NSAS. A lot of looting and a lot of fraudulent and crime and all those things. Who anticipated that? Nobody. But when you give people that room, that fora, you see that at the end of the day, there will be breakdown of law. And
but in a civilized countries, these protesters will be guided. So that there won't be a breakdown of law and order. But here we see that they are not guided. They just start spraying tear gas on them. Why do we have to
I don't know.
It's
a system that we are. The government, they themselves, they are afraid that people can come and break in at any time.
Anything can happen.
And anything can happen to them because there is this feeling. Because once you are a failure, you know you are a failure. It's just like somebody who wrote exam. And then at the end of the day, he knows that he's going to fail. So he had already failed in his heart, even before the result.
Like I said earlier, the people, they feel we coming out to protest is the only way the government will hear our voice.
The government is not hearing anything. We have been protesting for years. We had NSAS protests. What then happened after everything? What then happened? We had about series of protests over the years.
Barrister,
no result.
I'm going to change our topic a little before we go because I know our time is almost up. We're just looking at the options given by Donald Trump by this morning. What's your take on that? I'm sure you saw it on the papers.
Yes.
With the options that he gave.
I saw the lights.
I'm going to deviate a little because, I mean, that's happening right now.
I saw the light. I saw the medium, and then I saw
the hard.
The hard. I will not, for that explanation, the light entails that they have to come and partner with our security outfits and then see how we can get the terrorists out of our dear country. And then, what is it called?
Medium.
The medium entails either they move and then strike thereabouts, and then the last one will have to be that they come and station somewhere and then strike our their country, the terrorists. So I'm not in support of, but if you look at it, if you look at the light again, considering our country, they are full of corruption. When you come and partner with them, they may likely corrupt the foreign army. They may likely
but quickly before we go, do you think that we need the American to come help us?
Yes, I agree with them, but they have
so
to
we
come
need them
on the lights. On the lights, let's
on
give
the
them
light
their benefits.
note.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. You said we need the Americans to come help us. Okay, we are still looking at talking about the Nnamdi Kanu'S case. Let's keep our fingers crossed to see what will happen, Patricia.
Yes, let's keep our fingers crossed to see what will happen and see if the America will come in light. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you so much, Atta, for coming to help us analyze this particular topic. Thank you all our viewers for joining our Lagos Network studio this beautiful morning on CMI. We will be handing over to Benin for the continuation. I am Reselina Unkwo. Just stay.
Ooh,
thank you.
Because that was that.